What's up, guys? Coach Madden, YouGoProBaseball.com, here with Doug Bernier, former Major League infielder, had a fielding percentage of 1,000 in the major leagues. When we're talking about fielding, this is the guy you want to listen to. He's also got a YouTube channel, Pro Baseball Insider, so check him out there. But he's going to share with us some fielding drills that he loves to do, and that can help you be a better fielder, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What you got?
So, all right, so there's a couple of variations of the same drill that I like to use. I call them daily drills because this is something I will do every single day. And it always starts with me on my knees. So kind of to start, I'm going to throw my glove to the side, I'm going to throw the baseball to the side, and we're going to use a tennis ball. Now, the reason I like using tennis balls is if you've ever tried to catch a tennis ball with a bare hand, it can be difficult at times. You have to have soft hands. You have to not be hard and like just, go after the baseball. You have to be able to, be relaxed with your hand. And so that's why I like to do it. So I get on my knees here and I have a partner throw me the ball. And what I'm working on is they're just going to throw me a short hop and I'm just going to work on going through the baseball or the tennis ball and secure it. I'm going to do maybe about 10 of these. I'm not going to overdo it, but I'm just going to do that. If you're by yourself, throw a ball off a wall, throw it off a garage door. Do it in your house, do it away so your parents don't get mad at you, but throw it off the wall and just work on securing the baseball. Then do forehand, same thing. Turn it around, do some backhands. And just using a tennis ball with your bare hand, you will find that over time, at the beginning, the ball's not gonna stick. The ball's gonna hit and just fly out. But after a while, the ball's gonna start to secure. You're gonna be able to start to field the ball. You're gonna notice when you put the glove on your hand and you're fielding a baseball, how much easier it actually is. So that's where I like to start. Then from there, I like to put the glove on and use a baseball. Same idea. I want to have my, a partner or whatever, and I'm going to be up on my feet and I'm going to work on fielding through the baseball. I can do forehands, I can do backhands, but it's a way it's a way to get a lot of reps in a short amount of time and make sure I'm doing it right. So those are the two things that I like to do just to get the day started. I feel like it's a good kind of hand-eye coordination, get everything working, and go from there.
Those are awesome. One other one I like to do when you're down on your knees with a wall is actually have a guy behind you throwing it so you don't know where it's going and you have to react more to that ball. I really like the tennis ball one too because you have to be real soft with that.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. When you were growing up,
yeah,
were you always throwing the ball off the wall, off of things?
All the time. Like I set up I taped up my garage door, and I'd have targets, I'd be throwing balls off that thing. I would do, ground balls off it all the time. I would have a tennis racket in my hand and I'd be hitting balls off the wall and everything. And even actually until even up until the last year I played, this is kind of a funny story, but the gym we work out at, I'd take my wife there sometimes and she'd just launch racquetballs at me. And I would just sit there in the racquetball court and just try to catch it barehanded. And that was kind of a way to get used to seeing velocity and just trying to react. And so, yeah, I've always kind of tried to think a little bit outside the box when it comes to fielding.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Yeah, my parents, I remember growing up would, my mom didn't want me doing stuff in the house too much, but my dad was like, just let him, throw him wherever, as long as I didn't break anything. Right. So if you're a parent, you got a young kid who's high energy and he's throwing balls all around, maybe just give him an area, one spot in the house that he can't really break anything, because I think a lot of baseball players are the same, always playing with a ball, just having a ball, throwing it around.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Obviously there's times when we want to get coached and work on mechanics and stuff, but I learned a lot just by throwing the ball off the wall and just trying to be creative and work on things. And it's funny because in my baseball career, I was very mechanical and I worked a lot on my hitting. And the hitting was always the part of my game that was, was suspect. Sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't. But with fielding and throwing, it was more of a feel. I developed a feel over time. Just, okay, I'm trying to hit a target. How am I going to do it? And I just did it and over again. And all of a sudden it kind of became, natural, and I wasn't thinking so much about it. And so I think it's good. Just go play, man. That's good stuff.
When it's fun,
exactly.
It doesn't seem like work, right?
Exactly.
So when you have to go to practice and you're made to do things, it's hard to get into it sometimes. But when you make it a game yourself and you're doing it for fun, I used to go out there for hours just because it was fun.
Right. Remember, it's a game. Like, go out there and have fun with it because that's what it's all about.
My dad and I used to play a game we called it errors, but it was just against the wall, and we would throw it as fast as we could and try to get it by the other guy. So like we would take turns. I would throw one, and you would have to chase it down wherever I threw it, field it. If you made an error, then I got a point. And then you would get it, throw it as fast as you can. I would try to field it. If I made an error, you would get a point. And we played to, 21 or something, and we'd be there for hours, man. I remember my arm would be hanging after that. That's one thing you got to watch out for is throwing too many. But man, it was so much fun. So I guess that's the biggest thing I could tell you because I don't know much about fielding other than that. I'll stick to pitching.
Yeah, we used to play we had a bunch of friends that were in the neighborhood, and we'd go out and we'd play in the street. And we would do that for hours. We would just be hitting balls, we'd be throwing to each other, we'd be catching, and just that stuff, just when you can develop good habits by having fun and not thinking too much about it, you get better pretty quick. And so, sometimes, like I said, all that other stuff is good, but sometimes just go out and have fun and don't think too much about it. Just enjoy the game for what it is.
So now you talked about going bare hand with the tennis ball. Using a baseball with a glove. I see you got a mini glove on here. You have one, that's mine, but you have one similar at home. Tell us about using a smaller glove. What do you like about that?
Okay, I like using the smaller glove because it forces you to concentrate a little bit more on the baseball. When you have just your normal glove, it's larger, so you can get away with some things, if you have some bad habits. But this, you got to be locked in or that ball is either going to squirt underneath your glove or it's going to kind of bounce out. So just the concentration level is a little bit higher when you have a mini glove.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Thank you, Doug.
Yep.
Guys, if you want to follow more from Doug, check him out, Pro Baseball Insider. He's got some great stuff on YouTube and across the other social platforms. He's also got a great newsletter. I'll leave the link down below. You can jump on that. Some really good information down there. And check us out. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions about fielding or anything baseball related. We'd be happy to help try to answer those. If you like this video, thumbs up. Subscribe to Pro Baseball Insider and YouGoProBaseball, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.
See ya.